Today's Sunshine Note is titled, More Than Berries. And regarding the question, friends, that has come up about what happens to those already dead and buried, we don't want you in the dark any longer. First off, you must not carry on over them like people who have nothing to look forward to, as if the grave were the last word. Since Jesus died and broke loose from the grave, God will most certainly bring back to life those who died in Jesus. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14. My family thought it would be a fun way to kick off the 4th of July. We got up at the crack of dawn, drove out into the country, and picked blueberries. In spite of the overpopulation of earwigs, we had a lot of fun. We were some of the first people to arrive at the field, and the owner gave us a section to ourselves. After we had been picking for a while, I heard a voice from the other side of the blueberry bush ask, "How's your brother doing? We prayed for him at church." Her question made my heart ache because I had to tell her he died 3 months ago. The woman, whom I recognized from a neighboring church, went on to tell me that she understood my pain because her grandson had died in a car accident the year before. She talked about the wonderful person he was and how much she missed him. "You know," I told her, "it would have been quite the miracle if God would have healed your grandson's broken neck and my brother's terminal cancer. But the greater miracle is coming. At the second coming, your grandson and my brother will be raised from the dead, injury and illness-free, to live forever." As I got up from my stool to move to another row, I noticed that many pickers had arrived since our conversation began. All up and down my row and hers were people listening on to every word. Maybe they had lost someone too, and maybe something we had said had given them hope. When it was time to leave, an elderly woman walked up to me and said, "I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. My husband died from cancer recently. He was a Christian too." I touched her arm and said, "Someday you will see your husband and I will see my brother in heaven. We can even introduce them to each other." As I left the field that day, I left with more than blueberries. I left with renewed hope. And regarding the question, friends, that has come up about what happens to those already dead and buried, we don't want you in the dark any longer. First off, you must not carry on over them like people who have nothing to look forward to, as if the grave were the last word. Since Jesus died and broke loose from the grave, God will most certainly bring back to life those who died in Jesus. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14. May God bless you today.